Hey guys, Tom with BuyMeAniPhone.com here today, and today is Tuesday morning, March 16th, and it is March Madness time. So we're going to be doing a little video that's a little bit different today. You're going to have to excuse me. My voice is starting to go. I don't know if it's allergy season or what it is, but I'm going to try to get through this video. So what we're going to do is we're going to fill out my personal tournament challenge bracket, and I'm going to share it with you today. Just kind of something a little bit more fun. Okay, so first we're going to start in the Midwest region. We're going to go region by region for you. And I'm going to just give you a real small dose of why I'm picking each team. So first we're going to start with the 116 game. So this is Kansas versus Lehigh. I don't think I have to say any other reason why I'm picking Kansas, with the exception of no 16 has ever beaten a 1. So and I don't think that's going to happen today either. Now, we go to the always interesting 8-9 game of UNLV Northern Iowa. Now, I've got to tell you, I don't know a heck of a lot about these teams. They're not on TV a whole bunch. But what I've seen in the last couple of days in the tournaments, I like how Northern Iowa's playing, and there's always going to be an 8-9 upset. So I am going to pick Northern Iowa. Mild upset, Northern Iowa over UNLV. Next, we come down to the Michigan State, New Mexico State game here. Both these teams are from conferences that I don't think are real strong this year. The Big Ten had a down year, and New Mexico State from out west, again, really a toss-up conference schedule-wise, but I think it's going to be a pretty easy game, and I think Michigan State will prevail, so I will be taking Michigan State. Next, we move on to the Maryland-Houston game. Now, Maryland in the ACC, I'm not a huge ACC fan, but I will tell you what did impress me. With Maryland beating Duke this year, especially with North Carolina having a down year, I'm going to take Maryland beating Houston. No surprise there. Now we move into the bottom half of this region, and we're going to take Tennessee and the San Diego State University game. Now, guys, I'd love to take a 11 seed over a 6 seed. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think Tennessee's all that good, but I don't think San Diego State can hang with them either. So now we're at the Georgetown, Ohio game. Georgetown, from arguably the best conference in the country. The Big East has 8 teams in the tournament this year, most of any conference out there. Georgetown as the 3 seed will be Ohio. Now we get down to this very interesting Oklahoma State Georgia Tech game. Now, guys, I think both of these teams are very equally matched, but I'm going to pick an upset here. I'm going to take Georgia Tech over Oklahoma State. And again, I'm not a big ACC fan. I don't like the ACC, but I will pick Georgia Tech over Oklahoma State. And then we have the Ohio State versus UC Santa Barbara. Ohio State again in the Big Ten. UC Santa Barbara from the conference that's local to me, University of Pacific, is in the Big West. So I will be taking Ohio State, although I really wish UC Santa Barbara pulls the upset. So now when we go over to the second round here, Kansas and Northern Iowa. I'd love to have Northern Iowa as a Cinderella story, but I think it's going to be Kansas. Michigan State and Maryland. I think this is going to be an epic battle. I think it's going to be a great game. Both two great schools, great traditions. I am going to be taking Maryland slightly over Michigan State. Now we move down to the Tennessee-Georgetown game. Georgetown has just been very impressive for me, even though they lost the Big East Championship game. So I'm going to be taking Georgetown over Tennessee. And then Ohio State in their Big Ten championship run there, they didn't look real impressive. Okay, they had a couple of squeakers, a couple of buzzer beaters to win the Big Ten championship. I'm going to be taking Georgia Tech over Ohio State, okay, in the upset. So now we're going to be going to the Kansas-Maryland game. I think Maryland finishes their run right here, and I think Kansas will roll. And then Georgetown, Georgia Tech, I will be taking Georgetown. Okay, now we get to the another epic battle between Kansas and Georgetown, and I'm going to be picking the upset here. I'm going to be picking Georgetown as my first Final Four team. Okay, so that is the Midwest region. Now we're going to go over to the Eastern region. Okay, Kentucky, the #1 seed here. Kentucky's rolling. Okay, I don't think they're going to have too much of a problem the first couple of rounds. Okay, although they are young, so you're not sure how they're going to react once you get to the Sweet 16 and Elite 8. Texas, Wake Forest. Another very interesting matchup. Texas was just on balls of fire at the beginning of the year, and then they just dropped off the face of the earth. I think Texas will win the first round game, so I'm going to be taking Texas over Wake Forest. Next, we come to a very interesting matchup here. We've got number 12 Cornell out of the Ivy League against number 5 Temple. Now, this is always an interesting 12-5 game. And again, guys, I think there's going to be a couple upsets in this tournament just because it's so equal this year. I'm going to be taking Cornell to beat Temple in the first round. We move over to Wisconsin-Wofford game. Guys, I don't think this is going to be a game at all. I think Wisconsin's going to blow them away. I'm going to take Wisconsin over Wofford. Number 6 Marquette over Washington. Pac-10 had a terrible year this year. Washington is in by the skin of their teeth, really. I'm going to be taking Marquette over Washington. New Mexico over Montana. Now, New Mexico played well down the stretch. Montana, from, again, a weak conference. I don't think this is going to be close. I think it's going to be New Mexico over Montana. Clemson and Missouri, another very interesting 7-10 matchup. Okay, both from a big powerhouse conference. I will be taking Missouri over Clemson. Okay. And then finally, in this portion of the bracket, we'll have West Virginia against Morgan State. Okay, again, I don't think this is going to be too much of a game. I'm going to take West Virginia over Morgan State. Now moving on to round 2 in the eastern side of the eastern bracket, Kentucky over Texas. Again, I don't think Kentucky's going to have a problem in the second round. I think they're going to roll Texas, and it will be Kentucky. Cornell and Wisconsin. I think this is where Cornell's Cinderella story ends. I don't think Wisconsin's that good, but they will beat Cornell, and Cornell will be going down to Wisconsin in the second round. Now we get to a very interesting Marquette, New Mexico game. Now, normally, guys, I would be picking a 3 seed over a 6 seed here, but New Mexico, again, and from a very weak conference, Marquette, and when you're a number 6 seed out of the Big East, it's like being a 2 seed everywhere else. So I'm going to be taking Marquette over New Mexico. Okay. And then finally, we're going to get to the West Virginia-Missouri game. Now, this is very, very intriguing. Missouri likes to get up and down the floor. They play a very fast brand of basketball. West Virginia in the half court. From my experience, what I've watched this year, if a team is able to slow you down into a half-court game, okay, they've got the edge, a la the UConn Huskies. They like to get up and down the court. Everybody slowed it down, played a half-court offense against them this year, and they were worth diddly squadoosh. So I'm going to be taking West Virginia over Missouri, only because I think West Virginia plays a better half-court game. Now we get to the 1-4 matchup. We've got Kentucky against Wisconsin. Again, I don't think this is a matchup at all. I think Kentucky rolls. Okay, now we've got Marquette against West Virginia. Again, very interesting matchup. Marquette lost a ton of seniors last year. West Virginia playing good basketball, Big East champions. I'm going to go with West Virginia over Marquette. Okay, and then we get to the Kentucky-West Virginia game. Again, I just don't think that this is going to be too much of a game. I just think Kentucky is too good. I'm going to take Kentucky over West Virginia, although I am a big East guy. So that is the East and the East part of the bracket and the Midwest. So now let's go down to the western side of the bracket. Very interesting part of the bracket here. The first game we have Syracuse and Vermont. Again, a 1-16. Not going to be too much of a challenge for Syracuse. Their center is not playing the first weekend of the tournament because of injury, but I think Syracuse rolls Vermont. Gonzaga, Florida State. Now, guys, I've had a really tough time with this game. I've changed my mind a number of different times. I'm not a big Gonzaga fan. You know, they're up in the upper Northwest where they kind of get lost. Florida State plays in the ACC again. So what I did is I really flipped a coin on this one, guys. So I'm going to go Florida State. Butler and UTEP. Now, UTEP, I have seen a couple of their games this year. I think they're a very, very good team. And Butler, although they played well down the stretch, I just have a funny feeling that UTEP's got a shot, and I'm going to pick UTEP over Butler. Vanderbilt, Murray State. As much as I like the Murray State, and I think that they've got a lot of heart, I think Vanderbilt rolls that game. We go to Xavier, Minnesota. Okay, Minnesota, again, played well down the stretch. Xavier, okay, from a conference that not very strong. But, and I'm almost changing my mind here, guys. I just can't see an 11 beating a 6 in this particular scenario. What the heck? I'm going to go Minnesota over Xavier. Okay. Pittsburgh over Oakland. Okay, this is a no-brainer. Pittsburgh's going to roll Oakland, I'd say, by 20. BYU and Florida. Now, BYU has not gotten out of the second round 7 consecutive times they've been in the tournament. Florida got in by the hair of their chinny chin chin. I don't think Florida's that good. I don't know if BYU can win a big dance game. But with that being said, I'm going to take BYU over Florida. And finally, we have Kansas State against North Texas. Again, not going to be close. They're not even going to put this one on TV. It's going to be a blowout by the half. We're going to take Kansas State over North Texas. Now we get into the second round. Very interesting matchup with Syracuse and Florida State. Again, with Syracuse's center being out the first 2 games of the tournament. This could be close, and I think that this will be a close game, but I'm going to take Syracuse over Florida State. I say they win by 10 going away. We get to UTEP by Vanderbilt. UTEP has a nice win over Butler. I think that's where they end their Cinderella story, and I will go Vanderbilt over UTEP. Then we get to the Minnesota-Pittsburgh game. Okay, Pittsburgh is too long, too good, even though they lost a bunch of players like DeJuan Blair, and I just think Pittsburgh is too good. Pittsburgh beats Minnesota. And unfortunately here, as much as I'd like to see BYU continue their story, I think that Kansas State wins that game, and I think here we go to the 1, 2, 3, 4, pretty much going chalk. So we go Syracuse, Vanderbilt. Okay, I think that Syracuse gets their center back in this round of the tournament. I think they start to roll. I take Syracuse over Vanderbilt. I'm going to take Pittsburgh over Kansas State because I think Pittsburgh is that good. Okay, and I'm going to take, in a surprise move, I'm going to take Pittsburgh to get to the Final Four over Syracuse. Okay, now let's go to the South region. Okay, we have Duke over whoever it's going to be. Okay, we're not even going to talk about that. We're going to take Duke. Cal against Louisville, 8-9 game, can go either way. Okay, I have gone back and forth on this numerous times, guys. I take Louisville over Cal. Hey, we have Texas A&M against Utah State. We're going to go chalk on this one. We're going to go Texas A&M. Okay, and here is the biggest surprise of my tournament bracket. Purdue has just been playing horrendous without their big stud. So I'm going to take Siena over Purdue in the first round. Now we get the Notre Dame Old Dominion. Notre Dame has been playing well without Luke Herringody. We're not sure if he's going to be back for the tournament or not. I say Notre Dame rolls anyway. Notre Dame over Old Dominion. Baylor against Sam Houston State. Again, really not going to be too much of a game. We're going to take Baylor over the number 14 seed, Sam Houston. Now, very interesting game here. St. Mary's against Richmond. Okay. Again, 2 pretty evenly matched schools. I think we're going to see a mild upset here with St. Mary's beating Richmond. And Villanova, Robert Morris. To all my good friends in Pittsburgh and Robert Morris, this is where the road ends for you guys. we'll take Villanova over Robert Morris. Duke, Louisville. Very, very tough decision for me. Duke against Louisville. Mike Krzyzewski against Rick Pitino. I think Rick Pitino does it, and I think Louisville beats Duke. Siena at Texas A&M. Okay, I think Siena rolls Texas A&M, and I think Siena's Cinderella story continues. Then we go Notre Dame against Baylor. Okay, as much as I don't think Baylor's a competitor, I'm not sure if Notre Dame can keep this roll going. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick Baylor over Notre Dame. And I think mostly I'm doing that is just so you guys don't think that I'm a Big East homer. Okay, but it wouldn't surprise me if Notre Dame beats Baylor. And then Villanova will beat St. Mary's. Okay. Now we get to see who's going to the the bracket finals. Louisville against Siena. I think that's pretty easy. I think we're going to be going Louisville. And although I'd love to pick Villanova because I love those guys in Philly, I think Baylor is going to beat Villanova. I don't know why. Again, maybe it's just because I don't want you guys to think I'm a Big East homer, but I think it's going to be Villanova. Okay, I don't think it's going to happen. And then we're going to take Villanova over Louisville. It's just a hunch. Okay, so now we have our Final Four. So we've got Georgetown against Pittsburgh. Okay, I think this is where the line ends for Pittsburgh. We'll be taking Georgetown on this side of the bracket and Kentucky against Villanova. And as much as I would love to see a rematch of the epic 1985 battle, I think that it's going to be Kentucky. And I think Kentucky is going to win that game. Now, who is going to be my national champion? Hey, my national champion, Kentucky against Georgetown. Georgetown coached by John Thompson. Kentucky, oh, that guy at Kentucky. I just don't know if I can root for him. Hey, but anyway. Oh, Kentucky and Georgetown. Who are we going to pick? Do we go heart or do we go head? Okay, as much as I would love to see Georgetown win this game, I just don't think it happens, guys. And I think Kentucky is your national champion. And so we are going to take the winning score. I think it's going to be relatively low scoring. I'm going to say Kentucky is going to be 72. Or, sorry, that's Georgetown. 68 for Georgetown. 72 for Kentucky. But I would love to see Georgetown win this game. So, guys, we're going to hit submit. And that is my tournament challenge. We're going to view our bracket here. Okay, and this is our bracket. And we're going to print this bracket, and we'll come back here, and we'll see how we do after the tournament is done. So, guys, here is my bracket. Our Final Four are Georgetown, Pittsburgh, Kentucky, and Villanova, with Georgetown and Kentucky in the final national championship game, and Kentucky winning by a score of 72-68. I think it's going to be a great game. So, we will come back throughout the tournament, and we will see how poorly I am doing, and kind of see where we go from there. So, guys, we will see you on March 19th after the first round is over, and see how I did on the first round. Until then, this is Tom from BuyMeAniPhone.com with a little March Madness tournament challenge for you guys, and we'll see you real soon. As always, have a great day.